Warning: the content you are about to see is my opinion on certain topics. I do not want to offend anyone in any way. If you feel offended or do not like what I say, you should turn off the video. I will have no filter, so I'm warning you now. Viewer discretion is advised. I hope you enjoy.
All right. What's up, everybody? This your boy Big Rob, aka Rob the Poet, and we are back with another episode of Open Your Mind. This is a podcast where I talk about topics from my point of view, and you may not agree with what I have to say, but before you make a judgment, I just want you to listen to what I have to say. We got a few things to talk about today. There have been some updates in the Breonna Taylor case, so we're going to pretty much be talking about that today. The first update that was said for the Breonna Taylor update is, or for the Breonna Taylor case, is that the family has settled, or that the court has offered a settlement to the family of $12 million for the wrongful death of Breonna Taylor. And according to the mayor, that is actually the highest settlement that has ever been offered and paid in the city. Now, my thing is, one thing, they didn't admit to wrongdoing, but they made a settlement of $12 million for the wrongful death of Breonna Taylor. Now, in my opinion, that don't make sense, because if you feel that you didn't do anything wrong, why settle with the family? And $12 million, that's going to be one of the highest, and you feel like you didn't do anything wrong. Those two do not add up. Um, the family of Breonna Taylor definitely, I mean, $12 million is a lot of money, but $12 million is not going to bring Breonna Taylor back. And the family feels that the money was not worth losing Breonna Taylor for. Now, other things to go along with that settlement is the police reform. Um, Basically, there are going to be a couple things that are attached to the settlement that the police are going to be doing going forward. A couple things are going to be establish a housing credit program as incentive to officers to live in that area that they serve. Use social workers to provide support on certain police runs, and require commanders to review and approve search warrants before seeking judicial review. Now, there's going to be some other stuff as well, but those are the main things that I read. And Breonna Taylor's mother feels that yes, the money is not worth losing her daughter. She feels that the police reform is a better outcome for the killing of Breonna Taylor than the actual money, because that's going to help people in the future, not lose their lives. It's going to help the community and different stuff like that. Um, this case is just getting more and more upsetting, because they're doing a lot more things to skirt around the actual situation of charging people for the death of Breonna Taylor. Um, she deserves justice. $12 million is not, like I keep saying, it's not going to bring a life back. And if I was a family, I would do more than I know they're doing a lot more, but I still wouldn't be okay with $12 million in the police reform, because I think there's so much that needs to go into the justice system itself in order for this to not keep happening, because this has happened way too much over the years. This happened a lot more this year than it should, and people are getting sick of it. That's not the only news in the Breonna Taylor case. I don't know if a lot of people, I don't know, I'm pretty sure everybody has heard, but one officer has been charged with 3 counts of wanton endangerment. I believe I'm saying that right. Three first degree counts of wanton endangerment. Endangering, basically the endangerment of neighbors. They said that he blindly shot 10, he fired 10 shots. They hit walls, windows, and everywhere else that it shouldn't be. and that's what he's being charged for. The other officers have not been charged in the actual killing of Breonna Taylor. So nobody has been charged with killing Breonna Taylor, which is ridiculous to me. You're gonna charge one man for endangering neighbors who I don't believe nobody got hit, but the person that actually lost their life for no reason, y'all weren't even supposed to be in the house in the first place. Nobody has been charged for that. That does not make any sense to me. So basically, one person is being charged for endangering neighbors. That that's blasphemy to me. The other officers were not charged, and why? Why hasn't nobody been charged? This case is going to spark a lot of disagreement with the justice system more than it already is. We've already had the protest when she first died. Now y'all doing some BS and selling $12 million because y'all know y'all did wrong, but y'all not admitting y'all did wrong. And now one officer, the officer, if you don't know, his name is Brett Hankinson. He's been charged with 3 counts of first-degree wanton endangerment. Not even the killing of Breonna Taylor, for endangering her neighbors because he blindly shot 10 shots, which I don't know. It does not make sense. As a black man, just as a citizen, I am losing more and more faith in the justice system. Things need to change. If things do not change, there is going to be a continued target on the blue lives, aka 50, aka the cops. More protests have started. Couple cops have been shot in the protest. People are not satisfied with the handling of this case, and it's going to get out of hand, not just in Louisville, Kentucky, but in other cities. I don't know if you may know, but 2 officers were shot in Los Angeles. They were ambushed and shot while sitting in their patrol car. That's going to happen a lot more. I'm not saying it's right, but that's going to happen a lot more if something does not get done. Um, the justice system is a joke, especially to African Americans, especially to people of color, because throughout history, we have not gotten our just dues because of where we're from and the color of our skin. That needs to change like now. Um, it's getting to a point where we are fearing for our lives. I know me, I'm not necessarily fearing for my life. Um, like you can't see I'm fearing for my life, but every time I get stopped, every time a cop comes around, every time something small happens, my heart is racing and stuff like that. It should not be like that. Cops are their slogan is to protect and serve. African Americans don't feel like they protect us and they serve us. One thing that is I think needs to be changed is the actual training and then the people who are higher up in the judicial system, because the person who sent the cops to Breonna Taylor's apartment, who approved the warrant, the BS warrant that's going around, they are just as much to blame for Breonna than the cops. Now, I know a lot of people want to get on the cops because they shouldn't have been in there. They actually fired, they actually killed her, and you're absolutely right. But they shouldn't have been in there in the first place. The person who sent them in, who approved that warrant, the ADA or whichever attorney approved that the anybody who approved that warrant is just as much uh, guilty as the cops who actually killed them. The training needs to be reworked for the judicial system because cops are trained with aggression and reaction, which is the most dangerous way somebody can be trained, especially when they're always going into um, high pressure situations. When you combine aggression and reaction, somebody's always going to get killed. In my opinion, I think that awareness and diffusal needs to be taught more than aggression and fighting basically fire with fire. Now, the color of your skin is another thing that cops are trained in. The judicial system won't admit that, but the training of officers, when it comes to African Americans and Hispanics, they are going to be more aggressive because that is what their training has been taught. That's what they've been taught throughout the history, that blacks and Hispanics are going to be more aggressive than the whites, which in reality, that's not always the case. And there's plenty of videos that show that there's Caucasians running up with guns, um, charging after officers, and they don't get killed at all. A black person can be cooperating, have their hands up, and not doing anything, but they're constantly going to be more aggressive with them. And it shows through all these videos. Like it is, it's making me sick. Like I'm not the type of person that usually speaks up, but as an African American person who's dealt with cops, who's been in bad situations, who's been in um, some not too bad situations with cops. I remember one time I got pulled over and I was smoking a black and mild. They pulled me over. I was in an older car, so my tires and stuff were not were not up to par. But I was in school. I didn't really have time to get all that stuff. But I was smoking a black and mild. They came up there. Hey, your car smells like marijuana. Do you mind if we search the car? What do you mean smell like marijuana? I'm smoking a black and mild. Yeah, but sometimes that'll lead to smoking of marijuana. So I was like, no, you don't have permission to search my car. I was young at the time, and they were like, oh, if you don't let us search your car, we're gonna get a warrant or stuff like that. I wasn't trying to deal with all that, so they searched my car. They didn't find nothing, but the fact that they saw smoke and they automatically thought it was marijuana, and which is which is crazy to me. I was a kid. I was scared because my mom taught me at a young age that if you get pulled over by the cops, don't do anything that's going to make them want to react. So my mom always taught me that when I get stopped by the cops, I first roll down all my windows so they can see exactly what I'm doing. Put the car in park, turn off my car, hands on the wheel. So when they come up, I don't have no sudden movement. Always say yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Always comply because their training is to be aggressive. Now, I had some not too aggressive times with cops. Last time, I was driving for Uber. When you stop at a red light, there's a couple of lines. The first line is where you're supposed to stop, and then like you have the walkway for people. Well, I stopped in the middle of the walkway, but I wasn't in the middle of traffic. But I stopped in the walkway uh, right after where I was supposed to stop. I was at a red light, cops were behind me. As soon as it turned green, I was turning, I get pulled over. They were like, I was like, hey, I did everything, rolled the windows down and stuff like that. They asked me, they said, hey, did you know that you were in the walkway you were supposed to stop before that? I was like, sir, I wasn't even paying attention. I was just trying to get home. It was like 11:30. I was tired. I was just trying to get home. They were like, you mind if we search your car? Sure. I don't have anything in my car. They searched my car. One officer was talking to me. We actually had a pretty good conversation. He was talking to me, about where I was from, where I went to school and stuff like that. While other officers searched. He was done searching. He was like, "You find anything?" They were talking to each other. "You find anything?" "Nope, he's all clean." He's like, "You know what, sir? You have a good day. Thank you for cooperating." And I was just like, I was like, "Thank you for not being aggressive and stuff like that." And so we had that was a pleasant interaction with them. So it's all about how you interact, but that's not always the case because these videos have shown that you can be the most calm person, especially African Americans, Hispanic. You can be the most calm. You can be cooperating and different stuff like that. And I've seen them tackle somebody. The person has their hands up, not even really tackle them, putting their knee on their neck and just kind of forcing them. And then they keep telling them to stop resisting. But if we can't breathe or if we're in an uncomfortable position, we're going to keep moving around. We're going to keep squirming around. So I think they do that to make us, they know that we're going to not necessarily resist, but they know how to get a rise out of us, which is crazy in itself. But I kind of got off topic, but those are basically the updates for Breonna Taylor. Like I said, the 12 million lawsuit and wrongful death. That's crazy. Money can't bring back my child. But they are trying to take steps so this does not happen again. But them not admitting wrongdoing is blasphemy. in itself because you settled in a wrongful death, but you're not admitting it. That don't make sense. Um, Basically, one officer has been charged with endangering the neighbors and not the killing of Breonna Taylor, which is stupid in itself because she actually died. Y'all wasn't even supposed to be there, but somebody who fires shots and hits walls and stuff. Oh, the neighbors are more important than Breonna Taylor dying. That don't make no sense. That's stupid. That needs to change. Protests and putting targets on the blue lives. That's going to continue to happen unless social justice change. These cops are not being trained well. You have 6 weeks or whatever it is in the academy. You can be 18. You don't have no other training besides that. That would not cut it. It needs to be more rigorous. It needs to have more components. And y'all putting these cops in danger, which is going to put the community in danger, which is going to basically be a slippery slope. One thing happens, another thing's going to happen. It's going to keep happening until the thing at the top changes, or else it's going to keep trickling down. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please subscribe. I also have the podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, a whole bunch of others. So please follow. I will put the links at the bottom of the video. If you have any topics you want me to talk about, please comment down below. I'm starting to be talking about different topics. For October, I am going to be talking to a lot of entrepreneurs. They're going to be African American and it's going to be Hispanic. There's going to be some people I know, some of my friends, and there's going to be a couple people that I have met through just networking. So we're going to try to see how that works. So stay tuned for the videos and listen on the Spotify podcast. This your boy Big Rob, aka Rob the Poet. Open your minds. Remember, you may not like what I say, but please listen with an open mind before you make judgment. And we out. Appreciate it.